It's been a week of political back and forth, and at the center of the latest exchange is Senate President Abure and the Labour Party 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi. Obi speaking at a valedictory session in honor of the late elder statesman Chief Edwin Clark decried the state of the nation and remarked that the labor of Nigeria's past heroes were already in vain. But Abure did not take it kindly to the statement. He responded swiftly, urging Obi to channel his inner energy into uniting his own party, which has been riddled by internal disputes, before inciting public sentiment or criticizing the government through social media. Abure went further to advise Obi to emulate the legacy of the late Edwin Clark, who he described as a unifier and a symbol of national cohesion. So, what does this say about Nigeria's political climate? And what does it mean for a party that once sparked a youth-led movement? Let's take a look at this report filed by National Assembly correspondent Sir J. Ibrahim.
Where do we start talking of our dear father, Clark? For someone like me who had just been part of this 2023 election, he lived a life of courage, a life of sacrifice, a life of justice, a life that is valued. But most importantly, he's continued living that life to the end. I listened to my brother Mike when he talked about, may the labor of our heroes past not be in vain. I'm sorry, I'm happy that Jack One is here, and I'm happy that Jonathan is here. But I can tell you, their sacrifice is in vain. They've sacrificed for nothing. We're in this country when people were protesting, when there was no need to protest. Under Jonathan, where are those protesters? Have they died? Where are they? So why are we saying it should not be in vain? Then it swelled from 87 naira to 120, and people were protesting in this country. And when it was 900, they were not protesting. Are they dead?
And yet, when somebody makes a statement that the labors of our heroes past are in vain, I beg to disagree. Let our brother Peter Obi show leadership like Edwin Clark did by resolving first the crisis in the Labour Party. For a man who wants to run Nigeria, you have one of the smallest parties in Nigeria, and you cannot even resolve the crisis in that Labour Party. Is it the crisis of Boko Haram?
Interesting times we find ourselves. Anyway, now to our big story, shall we? It's one that has thrown Nigeria's opposition politics into fresh turmoil. It's the Labour Party, and it's once again in the headlines. But this time, it's not about the 2023 elections or Peter Obi's movement or his comments or Abure. It's about a deepening leadership crisis that threatens to tear the party apart. This week, a faction of the Labour Party's National Executive Council, led by Senator Nenadi Usman, announced the suspension of Julius, Abure, the embattled national chairman, and the party's national youth leader, Prince Kennedy Ahanotu, for 6 months. They also dissolved the National Working Committee, citing allegations of impersonation, forgery, and anti-party activities. The Nenadi-led group has now named a transition caretaker committee to oversee the party's affairs, a move that has been rejected by loyalists of Abure, who claim the process is unconstitutional and politically motivated.
But is that, or is this about accountability, or is it a power grab masked as reform? We are joined now by two guests with inside perspective on this unfolding drama. Kennedy Ahanotu, the suspended national youth leader of the Labour Party, who insists the action taken by the caretaker committee are illegal and a violation of due process. We also have John Igbojionu, is the secretary of the Labour Party in Abia State. Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for coming on.
Okay, so I think we should start with...
I don't like your intro because you must verify before you use that on national TV. Suspended national leader is kind of this thing on my personality. I don't like that.
I didn't get that you said?
That I've been suspended. That's it. You've confirmed that I've been suspended. That is what you are telling me. You have confirmed that I've been suspended.
Okay, we sincerely apologize for that, but Comrade Ahanotu, that's why we are having this conversation, so that you would clear the air on these issues.
That nomenclature in the first place.
So how would you rather, sorry, how would you rather be addressed, sir?
My name is Prince Kennedy Ahanotu, the National Youth Leader of Labour Party. As simple as that.
All right.
Were you aware of the decision to suspend you? And what's your response to the allegations of your suspension? Let's start there.
Before you talk about suspension, you must first of all confirm the legitimacy of the suspending body. That is the starting point. You must confirm the legitimacy of the organization.
So we're confirming from you. Are you aware of this decision to suspend you? We're asking you.
There is no Labour Party National Caretaker Committee. If you have the Labour Party constitution with you, you can confirm if there is any such provision of Labour Party Caretaker Committee. Nenadi Usman, that is leading that committee, is not a member of Labour Party. It's well established. Let her provide the proof of her membership. So you can't take such a person serious. It is not because somebody is saying that the tenure of the Inspector General of Police has expired. Is he still in his office? He's in his office. Yesterday, I was in my office. I discharged my duty as the National Leader of Labour Party, and somebody is somewhere cooking up stories. If you go to the office of the National Inspector General of Police, you will meet him there.
Prince Kennedy, when you say you discharge your duties as of yesterday, what do you mean by that discharging your duties? Was there any party activities?
Yes. We have.
All right, can you give us details on that?
The national chairman yesterday, the southwest people of the party in the FCT had their town hall meeting yesterday, and they did it in the national secretariat of the party. And I was mandated by the national chairman to represent him in that occasion, and I did excellently.
So the national chairman being Julius Abure?
Yes.
All right. Let's, of course, ask or change the conversation and ask our very own honorable there. I mean, what do you make of what is happening within the Labour Party?
So are you sending the questions to me?
Yes.
Am I to respond to that?
Yes.
Okay, like the comrade said, the national youth leader said, I personally do not find it welcoming when you use the word they suspended. Now we have a constitution. The Labour Party had its own constitution. And whatever is happening in the party that is a deviant to the constitution is not recognized by any law of the land, including the law of the party. So the individuals who have been out there claiming that they are coming under an umbrella, an unknown umbrella to the constitution, caretaker, if you can avail yourself with the constitution of the party. The caretaker committee that's being led by Senator Nenadi Usman, who is not a member of the Labour Party. She has no registries. There is nowhere you can find a name from the ward down to our LGA as being a member of the party. So if someone who is not even a member and also under a constitution, her so-called caretaker committee is not being recognized. So where does she derive powers from, or the committee? Where do they derive power from to make such a pronouncement? So for me, it's just a charade of some persons who are being excited, firstly, to put out such false narrative. So for me, the Labour Party is an intact and duly led by Barrister Julius Abure.
Okay, but let's, sorry, John. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let's go back to that Supreme Court ruling, it appears like members or some members of the party are giving it diverse interpretation. Nigerians are watching. And I mean, for quite a number of them that are following it, they seem pretty confused. There's an interpretation that says Julius Abure is no more the leader. Another fact is saying, no, you know what? It's an internal party issue. By the party's constitution, it still remains the leader. Another faction is saying that his tenure has expired. So who do we believe here? What's going on? What's your interpretation of this Supreme Court ruling?
Okay, let me say this, please. It's unfortunate we find ourselves in the situation in the country at the moment where a judgment or a ruling by the Apex Court will be given diverse interpretation without, measures being taken by the law enforcement agency to stop that. The decisions or the ruling, the judgment by the Supreme Court is not ambiguous. In their wisdom, they made it emphatically clear that they, being this Apex Court on the land, and even the other lower courts, do not have rights, do not have the jurisdiction to determine the leadership of the party. And they assert in that judgment that the party leadership challenge can only and could only be taken care by the internal mechanism of the party. And you ask yourself again, what are the internal mechanisms of the party that the Supreme Court says can only determine the leadership? These are the National Convention, the National Executive Council of the party. And you now also go further to ask, what makes up these persons that formulate the National Convention and the National Executive Council? And these are every one of these persons within that hierarchy is in support of the Abure-led executive. They came up on the convention and elected in March last 2024. So let me say this and make it clear to you all to understand. People can go about just to satisfy their whatever position. The Supreme Court had made it clear, and within the purview of the law, anyone doing something contrary to that judgment is tantamount to a case of creating anarchy and chaos in the society. It is not ambiguous. The Supreme Court made it clear, said, subject yourself.
Comrade John.
Every key actor challenge should subject themselves to the mechanism, internal mechanism of the party.
Comrade John.
The party has...
You are the secretary of the party in Abia State. Abia State is a stronghold of the Labour Party, all thanks to the governor, His Excellency Alex Oti. Given the convention that was held in the state in Umuahia last year, and then afterwards following up, that was where this caretaker committee, where Nenadi was sort of installed. What are you saying? What is the Labour Party in that region, in that state, saying, given that that's your state, that's where you are the secretary for the party in that state, and your governor that was elected under the umbrella of your party is a stalwart of the party?
Okay, thank you for that question, but let me make this clear. What happened last year, September 4th, at Umuahia, where I call it a kangaroo stakeholder meeting was called, is the height of illegality in the first place. Now, no member of the State Working Committee was part of that engagement to start with. No member of the State Working Committee. Now, when you are calling a meeting in such magnitude, it is only within the rights of the national chairman in directing the national secretary to call such a meeting. A governor, there is nowhere in our constitution. Like I said, let's be guided by the constitution of the party. There is nowhere in the constitution of the Labour Party that gave power to an executive governor or an elected officer to call a meeting in the name of stakeholdership or whatever. They even went further to go into an error. Initially, they wanted to have it as a national executive, and they know they don't have a right to make such a meeting. And if you're having such a meeting, for instance, the INEC will be informed of such meeting, just like what happened with the convention we had that brought about the new leadership. INEC was well and duly informed and notified of the meeting. And so whatever happened at that meeting, it is null and void ab initio. It is not and should not be, taken serious or recognized by anybody. Because the party has their own constitution. And that's a violation of the constitution of the Labour Party. So in its fair place, it is an illegality, and you cannot establish anything on illegality. You can't put up something or nothing. So it does not exist in its first place.
All right,
so that's what happens. And we at Abia State, the members of the Labour Party at Abia State are totally not in consonance with that meeting. Non-member, like I said before, not even a member of the State Working Committee was part of that engagement.
Okay.
Julius, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
I was going to ask Comrade John how long he's been a member of the Labour Party. Because I'm going somewhere. If you just indulge me for a second. How long have you been a member of the Labour Party?
Okay. I've been a member of the Labour Party actively at the State Working Committee rather since 2021. Since 2021. That was before. Yes, that was before the interest that brought about the governor and even our presidential candidate Mr. P2B into the party. Right.
So from 2021, there was some sort of obscurity. It was thanks to the popularity of the obedient movement that we saw Labour Party being shown to the limelight, right? And you would agree with me on that, right? So my question now is, right after the Nenadi-led caretaker committee emerged from that Umuahia convention, there was a snafu that happened, and then afterward there was a rhetoric of sort of a merger, that there was no issues in the Labour Party. Why can't the Labour Party hold its house together? Why these factions at a party where it's barely is even getting enough sort of backing? Or I mean, there's a beast that's about to emerge by 2027. There's a wave that is sweeping across the nation, a tidal wave that feels like a tsunami. We see it on the newspapers, we see it on magazines, we see it at front desk, we see it everywhere. Every home, every conversation on social media is about something of a beast is coming. Is this necessary for Labour Party to do this? Is this time for Labour Party to be doing this? What is best for Labour Party at this time? And what is the message that you are pushing out to Nigerians that are watching right now, this morning, this very second?
So in all fairness to Mr. P2B and even His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti, they brought some value to the party by the time they came in 2022 and they contested an election in 2023. But I can tell you prior to that time, the party has been in existence, has produced governor at Ondo State, Dr. Mimiko at the time. We have produced senators. So the Labour Party, as I speak to you, like somebody, I saw a video where the Senate president said is the smallest party. As the country, in the country today, based on these challenges, that the common challenge of the common man on the street, the Labour Party represents the yearnings of the commoners on the street, and we are the strongest opposition party, the leading opposition party in the country. So anybody that aligns to, give such statement that we are a small party does not exist in the first place. So what I want to say is this: the Labour Party is not disenfranchised, it's not disorganized. What has happened is like taking off the head of a snake, a reaction. Within the short possible time from now, of course, it's going to be very clear to everyone that, look, this is the known leadership of the party. Of course, you saw some of the people that followed one of the senators to INEC. Some of them recently that followed that to INEC, even that because they went to INEC with the CTC. I mean, they are now the court bailiff to go there and to submit the. So you can find that most of those National Assembly members have already defected.
Comrade John, APC. I'll come back to you. We'll definitely come back to you. Let's move to Comrade Ahanotu. And now the Nenadi-led caretaker committee says that it's about cleaning up the party and restoring accountability, and also positioning the party as a major force ahead of 2027. Do you see any merit in this? And looking at what is happening within your party, do you think this is also politically motivated? Do you think there are moves planted in your party to destabilize it such that it can stand as a force in 2027?
Thank you, my good brother. Sorry for the altercation in network and my my introductory attitude anyway. But that's by the way. Nenadi Usman is not a member of the House. He does not know where he's tidy and where he's untidy. If you tell me His Excellency Peter Obi, who ran the presidential election, I will say yes. If you tell me about the suspended governor who ran election and Labour Party and won, I will tell you yes. They are members of they are part of the family, they are part of the House, even though the governor has been suspended for clear anti-party activities. And if Nenadi is supporting Ale Esoti, what would Nenadi say about Dr. Ale Esoti conducting a local government election in Zenith Labour Party, in another political party? If Nenadi Usman mean well for Labour Party, why will Nenadi Usman, that is not even a member of the party, that is claiming to be a caretaker committee chairman, follow the former governor of Kaduna State, Erufai, to go and join SDP? This should simply tell you that Nenadi Usman is dancing a naked dance in the marketplace. Because if she's a member of the party, she should know that she shouldn't have been the one to accompany Malam Erufai to SDP. On no account, no national chairman have ever done that. That is not politics. So Nenadi Usman is not in the position to clean up or to say that their interest is to clean up the party. However, the Labour Party is a family. If we have any challenge, we have internal mechanism with which we used to solve that problem. Not that people that doesn't mean well, people that have not even understood the fundamental principles, the ideology of the party, because none of them have spent up to more than 2 years in the party, you know, and they are the one talking about transparency and cleanliness. INEC, the regulatory body of political parties in Nigeria, looked at every financial transaction of the party, and they adjudged Labour Party as the best political party in terms of transparency. The records are there. They should go and check. You know, what they do is that they come to social media. We don't have strength and money to pay bloggers. They have dominated the social media, the Twitter, the Facebook, the all what have you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, you said they come to social media, they play. Who are you referring to here?
I'm referring to Nenadi Usman and her team. They pay heavily to bloggers to blog their activities on social media. And we, as Labour Party, we don't have that much. Look at where they went to have their party meeting. In Transcorp, Labour Party is for common men. We cannot afford Transcorp. Governor Esoti is using the fund, the money meant to develop Abia, to fund a meeting in Transcorp. Is Transcorp the only hotel we have in Abuja? But because they want to do show, they want to show us that they have the money. They want to show us that.
Comrade Ahanotu, I want to ask you a point-blank question. Please permit me.
So, having said that, Nenadi Usman is not in position to clean our house because
if you can hear me, Comrade Ahanotu, I'm just going to put this question to you directly. You made reference to the Abia State governor, His Excellency Alex Oti, saying that he's been suspended. We also know that the Abure faction also suspended some other elected officials within the party, Senator Ireti Kingibe being part of it. Now, my question is this: without these people in your party, in your led party, do you think that the Labour Party can survive as a strong opposition in 2027? As a strong opposition?
No, to start with, there is no faction in the Labour Party. We have a leadership, ably led by Barrister Julius Abure. And now, the party is an organization where people come in and they leave. Before now, the party is surviving. If we are not survived in the first place, they wouldn't have come in the first place. Some of them are barely 2 years in the party, right? So the party was in existence and would continue. Some persons have been in the party before now and had left, and the party continued to survive. If the party was not in a good place, I don't think they will find the party attractive enough to come in. So for me, those that have been suspended by the leadership of the party remain suspended. It does not also mean that if they change the course of their action, the party will not, absorb them back. However, this is politics. There are people even on the sideline that would have been observing what is going on in the state and in the country, as it were, that is finding the Labour Party attractive to drive whatever ambition they have politically. So we cannot start talking about the survival or not survival of the party based on those suspended. No, the party is very strong nationally, and we have a very strong grassroots presence. So the survival of the party does not depend on these individuals.
Comrade John, let's talk about your structure, right, and the manpower that you say you have in terms of grassroots support. At the National Assembly level, how many of the members have defected to the APC?
At the National Assembly level, a few members of our party have defected. About 5-6 of them have defected to the APC.
So the House of Representatives, federal level, how many have defected to the APC?
The House of what?
The House of Representatives on the national level. How many of them have defected from the APC?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. I'm asking the members of the Labour Party that were elected into the House of Representatives.
Hello?
I can hear you loud and clear. You said that you have support, right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Oh.
I can hear you, John. I can hear you loud and clear, John.
What's the question again?
My question is, you are saying that you have grassroots support and the party is strong, right? And so I'm asking about the wave of defections. How many of your members, both in the Green and Red Chamber, have defected from the Labour Party to the APC? And how many of them are left?
Okay,
all right.
I think
Prince Kennedy, can you hear me?
I hear you clearly.
Yes, I was asking about defections. How many of your members have defected from?
I had a question in the House of.
No. I'm. Hang on. This is only. I'm sorry. This is a one-way road. Prince Kennedy. This is a one-way road, unfortunately. So we're going to do this. I mean, the reason why I'm asking the questions is about support, really. So if all the strong stalwarts, or the persons who seem to be loyal to the party in some sense, and by loyalty I use it very instructively in this case. For example, Governor Alex Oti, who seems to have the support of the Abia State governor, and Senator Kinkigbe, who is at the Abuja level, and also the presidential candidate of 2023, who seems to have somewhat, there's no place that he's never been that is not any crowd that sort of goes to him and show their support and appreciation for him. So it begs to ask the question, if all these members are suspended and they decide to move to the APC, or they defect to the APC or any other party, what support and what strong stalwarts will be left in the Labour Party? That's really what the question is. I was trying to get there. But Prince,
I understood your question perfectly.
All right.
My response is this. Our country is a place where people worship individuals. Before Alex Oti became governor, who was he?
Well,
he became a governor by the vote of the people. So the people knows the manifesto of Labour Party, okay? And now in APC, in PDP, people have been defecting. It's not just a problem of Labour Party. You saw what happened in Delta State, where the governor left by himself. Many governors are still leaving their parties to join Tinubu. Many governors will still leave. And we're even anticipating that before now, our only governor who couldn't criticize national economy on a TV broadcast he held with Rufai of Arise. He couldn't criticize national economy with all the things that are happening to citizens of Abia. He couldn't say that the economy is fine or economy is bad. We also anticipate that he may be joining the APC because it has been speculation. It has been speculating that he wants to join the APC. So in the National Assembly, about 10 of them have left the party. About 24 of them are yet to make their decisions. But where their loyalty lies, I can't tell. But about 10 have confirmed their exit from the party. In the Senate, we have only one that have officially defected. The one that was suspended, I produced her. In the primary that made her senatorial candidate, I produced her. It is the people that made her senator. And those people that made her senator in the FCT, how much has she affected their life? Politics is beyond speaking grammar on TV. It's beyond what you see on the floor of the National Assembly. if you have not done the fundamental things of reaching out to these people that voted you, another election is coming. We will not know if it's about Senator Nenadi or if it's about the people of FCT. Another election is by the corner. We will not find out if what you said, that if the strong man, there is no strong man or woman anywhere. There can only be a strong institution. It's what we are looking for.
All right.
If we want Nigeria to be better,
Prince Kennedy.
look at building strong institutions.
Prince Kennedy.
Strong individuals.
Right, Prince Kennedy, I have to ask you, I mean, earlier during your submission, you said that Nigerians are fond of worshipping persons as opposed to otherwise. I mean, when you look at politics in and of itself, whether it's Trump or any elections that we've seen at the global South, America, UK, or even here in Nigeria, South Africa, it's always the same. It's always about the individual because that's what matters. And you yourself, you have shown an unblinding and unwavering support for Abure, despite questionable, I mean, despite reactions and allegations of, you know, of misappropriation and the rest to his character, but you nonetheless support him and you support his leadership. Is his leadership so far in the last 1 year been exemplary, given how the divided Labour Party is? And why do you still choose to support him or stand by him?
Thank you, my sister. In the first place, the level of worship to individuals in Nigeria and Africa is far, 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 far away from what happens in UK and the US that you know. In the US, an opposition leader will criticize the government, criticize Trump. Of course, you are seeing what is going on in the US now. People rise up and they criticize Trump, and it will not stop them from winning the election next time. In Nigeria, if you criticize the president, you stand a chance of losing an election. It is that bad in Nigeria. So don't compare Nigeria and US. In US, institutions are working. In Nigeria, a governor can mandate you to be arrested because he has the economy of a state.
Okay. Right, but your presidential candidate, but your presidential candidate does that. He's been very vocal about everything. He's been one of the vocal voices when it comes to speaking truth to power, when it comes to the sake of the Nigerian people.
Okay.
Who?
Your presidential candidate for 2023.
Our presidential candidate, yes. He's a true opposition, but look at what has been happening around him. They are looking for a way to bring
so how about your support? We're talking about why you choose to still stand.
Jobs on him.
Right, so Prince, hang on, just a second, please, forgive me. How about your support for Julius Abure? Suspended or not suspended, one thing is certain, allegations continue to trail him, right? And in the last 1 year of his chairmanship of this party, it has dissolved and split into two. What do you say to that? That's the question.
That question is, you are asking me a wrong question, because I was elected in 2019, the same day Barrister Julius was elected National Secretary of the party, and I was elected Deputy National Secretary. I am not his PA. I am a deputy. I used to be a deputy national youth leader. Okay. The same day Julius Abure was elected the national chairman of the party, I was elected
Comrade
as the
Ahanotu.
national youth leader. So I am defending the institution.
Comrade Ahanotu, just in 30 seconds, because I understand we need to go. I'll go back to what the Senate President did say concerning your presidential candidate for 2023, Peter Obi, saying that he needs to unite, show leadership by uniting the Labour Party. So my question to you is this. He's not been suspended, at least from what we know, by the Abure faction. What is it doing anything, in all of this? What's his role in uniting the Labour Party at the moment, with reference to what the Senate President said? Is there a response to that?
Well, you heard what the Senate President said, which for me I felt was not necessary, but that nevertheless, we look up to His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi to come back to the party. The party cherishes him, but that does not mean that any individual is above an institution. But the party respects him because of the value he brought into the party. And we look forward to him understanding that what is happening is not about an individual. It's about institutional processes. It's about his following constitution of the party. It's about the sustainability of the soul, integrity, ideologies of the party, of that institution called party. So, Mr. Peter Obi, for me, for the past 6 months, I've not seen him around the party. He has not come to the party. He has not met with us, but we are open to meet with him. Yes, because he added value to Labour Party. But that does not mean that with or without him, that Labour Party will go down. Labour Party will live above me, above Abure, above everybody. In the next 30 years, 50 years, some of these men would have retired. And Labour Party will still be there because it's an institution.
Okay.
Many of us don't even know what will happen before 2027. But Labour Party, with that name, Labour Party will be there after 2027, after 2031, after 2040. Labour Party will still be there. I mean, most of us cannot ascertain where we will be at that time.
Okay, just before I let you go, Comrade Ahanotu, I'm still going to stay with you, Comrade Ahanotu, just before I let you go, because we're really pressed for time. Comrade Lamidia Papa, who also, claims to be a member of your party and, has even held a press conference. I'd just like you to speak. Do you, I mean, what role does he play at all within the Labour Party? Who is he within your party?
Lamidia Papa, according to the Labour Party constitution, is under expulsion. So whoever that is telling him to come to national, in fact, I call it comic relief. Some of his colleagues that planned that queue with him are gradually trying to find their way back to the party. So it's better that he should start finding a way to be forgiven by the party than for him to go out there and be claiming. If you can remember, court had even discredited their process that wanted to bring their papa, so he can't even claim legitimacy. And there is a neck that have suspended him, convention have expelled him. So all these things are what is hanging on his neck. But it's to tell you that in Nigeria, anybody can wake up in the morning and say anything and do anything because of people backing him. So our papa does no longer exist in Labour Party, and I've not seen our papas for the past 2 years in Labour Party office. And I've been going to office most times. I've never set my eyes on our papa. I've never attended any meeting with our papa for the past 2 years. And I don't know, he can organize a press conference in his room. I'm doing this thing from somewhere. He can be somewhere and call media people. They will put camera on him and he say anything he wants to say. But in practice, just like the caretaker committee, in practice, they are not in control of the party. In practice, Barrister Julius is the national chairman of the party. Omar Farouk is the national secretary of the party. So in practice, that is what we are talking about. It's not about what people are saying on TV. It's practical. We want practical. Thank you.
Thank you. Comrade John, are you there? Are you back on? Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes,
fantastic. Yes. So earlier,
can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Prince Kennedy earlier was saying that the conference that was held, or the convention that was held in Abuja, was he alleged that it was His Excellency Alex Oti, your governor, the monies that was meant for the Abia State persons that he used for Transcom Hotel. And then he said that the Abia people are suffering. I must ask you, do you also align with that sentiment? Does the Labour Party is Labour Party in Abia State funding the Transcom Hotel conference?
The Labour Party in Abia State, as it were, sincerely was not okay and happy with that meeting, the Transcorp. But that is not to say that the governor, who is using the manifesto of the Labour Party to achieve, some significant results in the state. But then the resources are limited. There are more things he should have channeled those resources into the state. The state he met the state in a very bad situation. So we can, whatever resource that was used in that meeting that is not called for should have been channeled to other things. Of course, he's using the manifesto that we gave him during the campaign period, and he's working on it. And you can see some of the significant results we're having so far in the States. So he cannot deny the fact that he has been, adhered to some of the things within that manifesto from the party. However, we have a situation in the States this is the time, because the state have been embedded with all kind of bad leadership for the past 24 years. So one would expect him to have a better focus into governance rather than some of this engagement, political engagement. I mean, this is just less about 2 years in power. So, and for me, I don't even appraise a government within the 2 years. So whatever resources, whatever attention, whatever focus that is required by the government, the governor, should be focused on the development of Abia State. So I would agree with my comrade that resources should have been used, I mean, to develop, to add to certain development challenge in the states.
All right.
So for me, truly, and often.
All right, let me just state this and put a caveat here and say that these allegations are based on both of you. We don't have any comments on this. We do not know for a fact. There are no facts to base this off. For our viewers at home, these were comments. We do not share these comments, and they're basically there. So, and I must say thank you, gentlemen, for taking out the time to join us and coming on to the program this morning. We appreciate you for taking out your Sunday morning to come on. Prince Kennedy Ahanotu, who is the National Secretary for Lagos Party, Labour Party, Julius Abure-led faction, as well as the Secretary of the party for Abia State, Comrade John Igbojionu.